Well, I did recently report on the victory that you saw across Poland in the recent elections for the nationalist conservative PIS opposition, likely to have rattled the Donald Tusk-led pro-EU government now in place in Poland. But some really interesting developments since then, including a pretty massive declaration from that opposition PIS party. Now, before I get to that, as has been rumoured, looking likely for a while now, funnily enough, since the Tusk-led government has come in Poland, you're looking at huge amounts of money being unfrozen by Brussels for Poland. The PIS nationalist conservative opposition actually accusing Brussels of previously freezing this money when they were in power for political reasons. This is something that President Duda, a conservative president, has spoken out on as well. In fact, you've even seen PIS accuse Donald Tusk and Ursula von der Leyen of collusion. Now, when it comes to the view of Polish voters, of course, you've seen huge farmer protests against the EU Green Deal agenda, and clear signs now that whilst most do not want to leave the EU in Poland at the moment, certainly there is a somewhat softening of opinion. You've got the head of the Polish chapter of More in Common there speaking to Brussels Signal, saying for many years Poles were Euro enthusiasts in love with the EU like an adolescent. Now their attitude, he says, is more mature, as in an old but successful marriage. But just look at these numbers flagged up in this poll by the opposition Law and Justice Party, PIS. A big number there, 61% of those in Poland saying that Brussels is handling migration badly. And 73%, they're getting on for 3/4, saying Poland shouldn't be forced to take on relocated migrants. But of course, we know under the EU's Migration and Asylum Pact, that is exactly what's going to happen. Either you have to accept people under this EU scheme, or essentially for each person you refuse to take, you will be fined. Again, Law and Justice Party hitting out that from 2026, they could be forced to accept illegal migrants. And hitting out there, this is separate, this is legal migration, but hitting out there at the EU Migration Commissioner saying that the EU needs 4.5 million migrants a year. Now, when you actually look into this, this refers to comments, I think, at the beginning of 2024. So this is the EU's Home Affairs Chief speaking out at the beginning of this year, actually saying that the EU will have to increase migration, legal migration, by 1 million people a year. Now, when it comes to the EU's Migration and Asylum Pact, you've had Poland, you've had Hungary opposing this very strongly, but of course, they do not have a veto on this. With Viktor Orban, the Hungarian Prime Minister, saying that the current EU leadership has to go and we need new people, that the plan is to come and take over Brussels with the European Parliament elections fast approaching. But I thought this was a really interesting comment from the former Prime Minister and member of that Polish Law and Justice opposition party, saying that the forthcoming European elections will be critically important from many points of view, but also to stop this madness, saying they cannot be held hostage by the ideological fantasies of Brussels officials, and that the Migration Pact could be a dynamite that could explode in the middle of Europe. Now, that has to be seen in the context, that comment, of a debate going on amongst conservative and nationalist parties across Europe about potential alliances in the future, including the potential for the Polish Law and Justice Party and Viktor Orban's party to perhaps have an alliance in the future with Marine Le Pen's party in France, perhaps Giorgia Meloni's party in Italy as well. But I think that comment there from the former Polish Prime Minister really does show you the massive impact this pact could have on the future of the EU and the future of Europe. Let me know what you make of all of that in the comments below though, please guys. I will of course keep bringing you all the latest on this and more. So please do whack this video a quick thumbs up, and of course as ever, cheers for watching.